Hello everyone, this is Brian with Zimco Survival. I decided I'm going to go ahead and try a new format, possibly redo some of my videos, and one of the videos that I didn't like very much was my BK7 video. I'll admit, wasn't particularly well done. I got it out pretty quickly because the weather and everything wasn't cooperating with me, so I didn't have a lot of time and I just wanted to get it up. And that was a mistake on my part. So I decided I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to redo a number of my videos that I'm not happy with. And so I'm going to go ahead and start with the BK7. And before I start the review, let me know what you think of this one. If you like it, leave a like. You know, if you like it, click the like button. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Let me know what you guys think of the video so that I can better tailor my future videos to what you guys want to see. Now, in this particular video, I'm going to go over in detail the BK7. I'm going to go over the specs. I'm going to go over batoning, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you how it performs in some finer tasks, like like doing a feather stick. Something I believe that every survival knife should be capable of doing. Now, in one of my other videos, I actually had a survival instructor who commented on the video and stated that this is more of a survival knife than a bushcrafting knife. And I do agree with him on that. It is more of a survival knife than a bushcrafting knife. But I would like to point out that I personally carry two knives. I would recommend that everybody else does too. And the reason for that is larger knives like this make batoning and everything else a lot easier. Especially this nice flat grind like this one has here. And I carry a small knife. I carry a Mora Bushcraft Black as my fine detail bushcrafting knife for notching and things like that. This can do notching and it can do a feather stick and things like that, but for the really fine stuff, like if I wanted to make a bowl or a spoon or anything like that, I would definitely switch over to Mora Bushcraft Black. And kind of use this only for roughly shaping things, kind of take off a lot of material. But let me go ahead and I'm going to actually start the review. And I'm going to start with the sheath. And personally, I think it is terrible, but it is usable if you want to use it. If you don't have the money to replace it, I would recommend going with a Kydex sheath or going with a custom-made leather sheath, which is what I'm going to do. So let me go ahead and kind of point some things out for you guys. The back of the sheath, it is MOLLE compatible. It has a number of the straps on the back, as you can see here, as well as a MOLLE strap there. It has a couple of other connection points, which are these little tabs here. They do open up and you can thread string through them. It also has one at the top here and another one down there. Why they have those, I'm not entirely sure. It also has grommets here and here, and also right there, so that you can attach it to a belt with paracord or anything like that. Again, I've never used it that way. I'm not quite sure why you would. I'm not one of the tactical kind of people, so you know, I kind of look at stuff like this, you know, with the MOLLE and everything else, and it's not something I'm going to use. One thing they did do, and I'd like to mention it with this particular video, is they did put the belt loop and make it into something that you can slide up in and then push over. And there's a snap right in here to help with the Velcro, so that when you fold it over, it snaps into place. One design flaw with this, because I actually tried to use it, is the idea is you slide this piece here up between your belt and your pants, and then you fold this over and you snap it. Well, when you have a belt on here up against your pants, it's very hard to fit this in there without the Velcro sticking to itself. So, my opinion, while it's a good general concept, it wasn't executed properly, because I have not been able to successfully get this on my belt without taking my belt off, because of the fact that this part here is up against my body, and when I try to fold this over, it gets caught and I can't ever get it to close properly. So if this is a feature you're looking for, the ability to put it on your belt without taking your belt off, keep that in mind, because I haven't been able to get it to work. If you can, more power to you. Now we're moving on to the front of the sheath. The only thing holding it in are these tabs right here. Okay, the sheath has absolutely no retention. So if these tabs come undone, the knife will fall out of the sheath. There is some Velcro retainers right there, so you can open this, stick it to the Velcro, and it holds your flaps open here. That's important because if you slide the knife in and you're careless, you could cut this, and then your sheath is basically useless because, like I said, the sheath part itself has no retention. Now I actually just put this on here for demonstration purposes. Let me take my ferro rod off. This piece right in there, that's the actual sheath. Okay. On the front, you have a large strap that folds up and Velcros down. I'm gonna leave that open for a minute. There is a second sheath right down in there for a BK13. I don't own one or particularly care to, but you have a slot there for it. No, that slot will not fit any other knife. I see a lot of people asking about, can I put a more in there? Can I do this? Can I do that? No. It's designed specifically for the BK13. It will not fit any other type of knife. I've tried. I can't get anything else to fit. So there's that with the second sheath. It has a little pocket right here. I personally, other than maybe a sharpening stone, it's not good for anything else. It's very, very small, and they set it up so they sewed the bottom here on that pouch so it has no expansion at the bottom. So about this high up is where you'll get full expansion on the pocket. So you lose about ½ an inch worth of space in that pocket just because of the way they sewed it. It would have been a great pocket if they had made it accordion all the way up down to the bottom, but they didn't. So in my opinion, the pocket is fairly useless. To hold the pocket closed, they have this little elastic strap. That's where I put my ferro rod. I just strap it in there. Now, as you can see, it's not particularly good elastic because you can see the waving all the way up here at the top already. So it's not particularly high quality strapping. Personally, in my opinion, the case works. The sheath will work. It's not something that I would use long term, and I wouldn't consider it particularly durable over a long extended use. Now let me show you exactly what I mean by the retention. Okay, take your BK7, you put it into the sheath. No retention at all. The only thing holding it together is this little snap. That's the only thing that keeps it from falling out. Now listen to this. The rattle in here is horrible. It's not form fit at all, and it will make a lot of noise when you're walking around. Every time I have this on my hip, I hear bang, 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 bang as I'm walking, and it drives me insane. I actually do not wear this on my hip anymore because of that, and I won't until I get my new sheath. But there you go, that's the sheath. Next is the knife itself. Now, what you see here, I've customized it a little bit. I actually have a natural patina on it now because I've used it quite a bit. I took the old coating off, which is a black textured coating. It's pretty good quality, it's fairly durable, but down here at the edging, especially if you do a lot of batoning with it, it'll rub that coating off slowly. I found the reason I took it off of mine and decided to just kind of let it patina naturally is because the coating is very tacky and it's hard to explain. It's not like you touch it and your finger sticks to it. It's more, it's not slippery. It grabs whatever you're trying to cut through. So batoning with this, doing feather sticks with it, I found it very, very hard. I had a lot of resistance. So I decided to go ahead and just strip the coating off. And that's a pretty easy process. Just get some really good high quality paint stripper. And it comes right off just like stripping any other kind of paint. The scales here are a polymer, a glass-filled polymer, so they're very, very durable, although they are very slippery. They have no kind of grip to them at all, very slippery. They're held on by 3 hex nuts, All right, so you can easily take this handle off and put an aftermarket like a micarta handle on. Very customizable knife. It has a very large lanyard hole here and an exposed pommel. So, I mean, you could stick 2 pieces of paracord through here quite easily, you know, or even a really, really high-end, you know, 1,100-pound paracord would fit through here without a problem. So you have a lot of options when it comes to what kind of lanyard you want to put on this. It is a full tang knife, as you can see. It is one solid piece of 1095 high carbon Crowvan steel. Its hardness is 59, so it has a really good edge retention. You're not going to have to sharpen all that often, but you will have to sharpen it more than you will with like a stainless steel. I personally love the high carbons because they're so much easier to sharpen. They require a lot less time than a stainless steel, although they do require more maintenance. Now, let me go ahead and show you the sharpness of this. I actually sharpened this myself to get it to this point. It did not come hair popping sharp out of the box, but I want to show you that you can get a shaving edge on it. So, as you can see, a really nice close shave, and there's all the hair on my watch. Very, very sharp. It does hold a razor edge if you decide to put one on. It took me about 10 minutes to get it this sharp using my my Work Sharp field sharpener. I didn't run this through anything special. It was hand sharpened with a field sharpener, and I got it up to a shaving quality. So I'm very happy with that. Like I said, very easy to sharpen. It does have some jibbing right up here at the top. All right. It's not aggressive jibbing. It's, as you can see, it's flattened out up here. So it's not going to dig into your finger, but at the same time you can do those really good push, you know, on the tip here, and I do not feel like my thumb is going to slide off. But what I actually like about the way this one's made is it gives that reverse ramp right here. So when I really want to do those really fine cuts, I can take the knife, hold it there, and get that nice fine cut using this part of the blade, which I really like. Now, as far as the risk of actually losing your grip with this knife, even though it is slippery, I wouldn't say it's going to come out of your hand. A lot of people say that, you know, they add tape and stuff like that to it. That's fine. I consider that personal preference. I don't like that. But because of the way it's shaped here, it locks your hand into that. So no matter how hard I push this way, my hand isn't going up on the blade. And no matter how hard I pull this way, it's not coming off. So while it is slippery, I do not feel the need to tape it. Excuse me. As far as its ability to do finer tasks, I do find that I can do it. But like I said, it's a large knife, and it will give a good rough job, but it's not going to give you a fine job. As far as the finer details of something or a finished product. One of the things, the drawbacks that I find with this knife, and it's a benefit and a drawback, I like that it has a nice clip point here, right? It gives me a nice point area to work with without having this big swoop up. My problem is they decided to put a bevel on it. So when you're batoning and things, it limits how large you can go before you end up really slapping on this, and it will chew up your baton very quickly. Because it's not sharp, but it's sharp enough. So that's something to keep in mind as well, as far as, you know, batoning with this thing goes. It is a phenomenal batoning knife. I wouldn't go anything over probably 4 or 5 inches. Let me give you an example. This is what I'm going to baton for you guys today. It's a piece of black birch, and this is how the knife looks when it's sat on the birch. You can see how much room I have left over, and you can see that with this is as big as I would go, because now I'm going to start batoning on that clip point. One area of weakness that I know other people have had issues with as far as this knife is concerned is this tip right here. Okay, the tip is very, very thin, that point, okay? And the issue is, well, no, you're not going to break the tip off doing anything you would normally do with a knife. But it's not a thick tip. So if I was to take this and try to use it to pull out some material, say I was making a bowl or a spoon or anything like that, and I was trying to use this to kind of pull out some of the material, I really do run the risk of breaking the tip off of this knife. If I do any really hard batoning on the tip of this knife, and I don't hit it exactly right, I could break the tip off. So that's something that you need to take into consideration. The knife itself, stats-wise, is 13.6 ounces. It's not particularly light. It weighs almost a pound. It's 3/16 of an inch on the spine here. Good thick spine. I know a lot of people want those 1/4 inch spines, but with the quality of this steel, I don't think that's necessary. The overall length of this is 12.75 inches, so it's not a short knife. It has a full 7-inch blade and a 5.75 inch handle, all right, including the pommel. So everything included, the actual handle here is about 5 inches, including this section right up here is 5.75 inches. So overall, a really good, really sturdy knife. Now I'm going to go ahead and we'll finish up this portion of the review, and we'll go ahead and do some batoning with this, and I'll show you guys how well it can actually baton. Be right back. Welcome back. Like I said, this is what I'm going to baton with it. All right, it's a decent size. It's probably the largest I would feel safe batoning with the BK7. This is aged, so it is going to take a longer period of time and more work to baton through this. I do believe that it can handle it, but I wouldn't go much larger than this. So let me go ahead and get started here. I'm going to just find a natural seam in the wood right there. Now, because this is full tang and it is a reinforced handle, as far as scales go, I do not feel bad about actually banging on the handle itself. Some knives I won't do that with, like the Moras, but this one I think can handle it pretty well. There we go. Now, for those of you who don't know, the reason it took so long to get through this is black birch is known for being very, very hard once it's been dried out. And very difficult to split because it's a fairly fibrous wood. That's why I choose black birch when I'm doing a demonstration like this, because it shows the actual capability of the knife. Now let's go ahead and we'll split it one more time. Somehow ended up at an angle there, so let's try this side. This stuff doesn't want to split again. All right. There we are. Now I'm going to split a little piece off so that I can do the feather stick. There we go. Alright. So I'll be right back. Now I'll show you guys how this does with making a feather stick. Alright, I'm back. That took a while, but we have our little piece, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how well this thing can actually make a feather stick. And with this one, I'm not going to do any special methods or anything. I'm just going to do a very basic little feather stick for you guys. So once you have your baton little piece like this, again, I put my finger like this on the knife. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shave off some of those loose pieces so I can get a nice piece of wood to work with. And then we're just going to make some very simple little push cuts like this. Alright, there you go. As you can see, some nice thin pieces here. Alright, So it'd make a very good feather stick. Overall, I'm very, very happy with the BK7 and its performance. The one thing that I would recommend to Ka-Bar would be to take this sheath and offer a basic leather version. Add $10 or however much and just offer a leather version of this. It doesn't have to be simple, or it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very simple, but give somebody another option as far as the sheath goes, because this isn't that good. It's usable, but I wouldn't consider it a long-term sheath. And considering that I believe this is the kind of knife that I can hand down to my grandkids even after heavy use, and as you can see by the patina, I put this thing through quite a bit of use, and it still performs just fine and will still shave my arm just fine. So overall quality, definitely worth picking up. It's about $77 on Amazon, $77, $80. I believe this knife is worth every penny of that. Definitely take the time and buy this knife. You will not regret it. So there you go. That's my review. As always, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I would love to know what you think about this new format. So if you can, leave a comment below, hit the like button, just let me know that you like the video in some way. Maybe give me some hints as to some things I might do differently. But other than that, thank you guys so much. Please have a great night. Bye-bye.